How's everyone doing? Welcome to our podcast, the first and the last episode. Um, I am joined here with my friends. You guys can introduce yourselves if you'd like.
Hi, I'm Nathan Beagle.
I'm Lauren Metzler.
I'm Tyler Brewer.
And I'm Garrett Spohr. And today we're going to be talking about TikTok and YouTube, some of the pros and cons per se. And the first topic that we should probably start with is the field of advertising. And I mean, I'll open the field to you guys first of all. Do you see any pros and cons per se with, TikTok or YouTube, maybe both or one or the other in the field of advertising?
Yeah, with it being such a big app and platform for it to use, there's going to be a lot of eyes. So if you're promoting your product or service or whatnot on these platforms, you're going to get a lot of eyeballs seeing what you're trying to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with that. I think also with TikTok, because, there's such shorter videos, usually you can get your ads across pretty quickly. When it comes to like YouTube, a lot of people use the notification bell, for example, and that's kind of something where it ties in with advertising because you're kind of promoting yourself to keep people connected with your content. Of course, they have their restrictions, the TikTok Creator Fund, and monetizing on YouTube. Of course, they have a lot of their downfalls, with the strict guidelines for language barriers, profanity. I don't know if you guys have any like thoughts on that.
I think with YouTube specifically, I think YouTube honestly has better advertising than TikTok, just because I think you see a lot more advertising within YouTube than TikTok. I think TikTok has kind of started pushing more ads recently. But with YouTube, they're the second most used online search engine. So obviously people who use them for advertisement, they're getting what they're paying for. Like more people are going to see them. So I understand it from that point of view, and in terms of wanting to, if you're promoting something, to use it for YouTube rather than for TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty fair, I would say. Tyler, do you have an angle? Do you think maybe TikTok or YouTube utilizes advertising in a more effective way?
I would say that YouTube definitely uses it in a more effective way. I mean, I'm not really on TikTok all that often, so I don't really have a say on what they do specifically. But I do use YouTube a fair amount, and I guess the way they use their advertisement definitely is better for the viewer.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Like YouTube, it seems like almost every other video has an ad in some way, shape, or form. TikTok, you might have some ads every now and then or sponsored videos. Like I'm sure everyone's seen the one where it's sponsored by TikTok and it's like it's time for you to go to sleep, like you've been scrolling too long or something like that. But yeah, I mean, if you want, we could progress here to talking about like the content type. Obviously, TikTok, most people know it as shorter videos, like 1 to 3 minutes. YouTube, there's really no limit how long your video can be. Some people can do long live streams, and you can also make videos shorter than TikTok, like you could use YouTube Shorts. But what would you guys say are the benefits, the upsides, and the downsides to the content types of these platforms?
Well, I feel like if you have podcasts such as these, I feel like YouTube would definitely be the more used and known platform to do this on, just because say you can have longer videos. I feel like TikTok would be more for like this would go on YouTube, but like the channel of of a YouTube channel that have this podcast could use TikTok as like an advertisement itself to have like maybe highlights of the podcast or an advertisement for the show coming up on TikTok since it's shorter. But I know with the short attention span of people, I feel like TikTok would the shorter videos benefits that in its own way and form.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I see TikTok as probably the more trend worthy platform of the two because you got people sharing sounds, sharing hashtags, sharing dance moves, and they're all used very frequently. Whereas YouTube, it's generally, longer videos that are probably better to watch if you're actually awake. Like I just said, like with, for example, the sponsored TikTok where it's like at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and you're still scrolling through the app. I feel like a lot of people would probably be more apt to use TikTok later at night or like kind of when they're chilling, laying in bed or something like that. Whereas maybe YouTube, there's even like YouTube TV, for example. It's just like another streaming service. You can watch that like when you're up. But I guess you guys see any like cons?
I have a couple for TikTok. So I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm really new to TikTok. I was really late to this train. So with TikTok, I feel like I'm really gonna show how lame I am. So I crochet. I look like an old woman. And there is like a crochet TikTok,
Hey,
and it's
there's
not
nothing
very
wrong with crochet, I will say.
thank you, I appreciate that. But with like, and this is such a small issue when it comes to TikTok, but it's not very like informative. If you want to like learn how to crochet, you wouldn't like go to TikTok, you'd go to like YouTube or even use Google. But with TikTok, it's so, and you can say this could also be a pro, it's so mindless. Like, yeah, you could stay up for like hours just going through TikTok and not really even almost paying attention to it. It's kind of just like, it's kind of just there. And I feel like with YouTube, it's kind of the same thing, but when you go to YouTube, you're specifically looking for something. Where with TikTok's kind of like, sure, I'll look through my For You page for 2 hours.
Yeah, I think like it kind of applies to both because you never know. Like when people usually on YouTube, they're making jump cuts and they're making edits in their videos, so you're not seeing like the full thing. Probably not to the extent of maybe like another service like Twitch, but even like on TikTok, these videos are only like 1 minute, 3 minutes, 15 seconds. You know, a lot of them are too. So it's like you're not really getting an idea for the creator per se. And I know we're about to hop into influencers here in a sec, but do you think maybe that's a bit of a downfall? I'm not sure how I'd explain it better. I just think that like with TikTok, it's harder to draw someone like closer to you per se because these videos are so short. Unless there's like something that you absolutely love. I feel like more times than not, you watch a TikTok, you see it for 15 seconds, and you're like, oh, that was funny, and you hit the like button, and then you keep scrolling. You might never see that account again. Whereas maybe on YouTube, like you like a video, you might be more apt to subscribe, stay notified about like what's to come. And I'm not even sure how TikTok does their notifications because I've gotten them before and they're like kind of randomized. Sometimes they're just mainly recommended stuff, whereas on YouTube, you can specify if you want recommended notifications, you want all notifications, or you don't want any.
I think with TikTok, then this can kind of go into the creator section too. I feel like you don't really get as connected with the creators on TikTok that you do with, I'll say, YouTubers, because with TikTok, yeah, I follow a bunch of people, but I'm never on like my followed page. I'm always on my For You page. So they may pop up every once in a while, but I'm not specifically like looking for these TikTokers. Where with YouTube, like I'm specifically looking for person A, person B, person C, because I went and like subscribed to them and I want to continuously see their content. So I feel like people have more of a connection to YouTube creators than they do to TikTokers. And I think that's kind of the downfall when it comes to creators on TikTok. Because obviously you see TikTokers who go to YouTube and become YouTubers.
Right. I mean, and I think to be a TikTok maybe influencer, you have to be more innovative. You have to have a good exploration for these new ideas that people really haven't seen before. I think one guy is probably like Maurice Stow on TikTok. I think he makes a lot of, positive messages in his videos, kind of some heartfelt messages to get people through their day. And you see people doing live stream showcases, doing games that you would never imagine yourself laying in bed watching people do. Or I don't know if you guys have ever seen the guy that does the treadmill pool ball races, for example. Like these are just things that like you don't naturally see, and it's kind of like a little bit more random, probably because you can do it so quick. And that's probably the thing like with TikTok influencers is that everything's kind of more random. It's not more of like a personality based. You can't really get to know someone in like 15 seconds or a minute. It's probably like a downfall, honestly, of being one of the influencers. And it's happened on both sides too, because like even Logan Paul, he's had his own issue where, like he had to make that big apology. I've watched Two Hype in the past, who was a group of once 9 people, and then it cut down to 6. That was a big ordeal. So it's not like they're both free of conflict. Do you think there is maybe the controversy is pretty high with either of these platforms, maybe one over the other?
I would definitely lean towards that TikTok has the most controversy, but since you can connect to the people on YouTube a little bit more, and you're more in tune to what they're doing, and with TikTok, it's all about the trends and all that, so it can lead to controversy. And yeah.
I think there is no easy answer to this. Like they're both very high in terms of controversy with the influencers. YouTube has been around longer, and I'm sure that I think that's kind of even what you guys were saying. I think Tyler and I think Lauren both mentioned this, like how you're kind of new to the TikTok game. I don't know. I don't know if Nathan. I don't know if you're new to the game, Nathan.
I recently got on maybe 9 months ago, but like so having an account itself, yeah.
Okay,
But like,
yeah.
I've seen my roommates been on it, like when the pandemic first went down, and I have little siblings, so they've been on it. So I've seen it, but like being like actively in part of that kind of community, I'm pretty recently to it too.
Yeah, I mean I think when you said your friends joined it like right when the pandemic started, that's about when I started. I haven't even been on it for 2 years. And I feel like a lot of us don't know like about these TikTok creators per se. Like they're taking a longer time to develop. Like some of the major ones like Charlie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, whatever. Like everyone knows who they are now because they're kind of branching out. They're not just doing TikTok anymore. Well, I think the YouTube influencers probably have a bigger face or they're more well known. But again, it's definitely controversial on both sides for the simple fact that, I mean, how many times have we seen a video on YouTube where it's like someone apologizing and then they probably get like thousands of dislikes because they did something wildly wrong. It seems like their apology is fake. I'm sure you guys have seen this at least once in the past.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
think
go ahead.
I think Lauren said it, but he's saying how YouTube, like their audience seem more connected with their influencers. I think that just going back to how the app itself is set up, when you look at TikTok or even like Instagram and Facebook, you're scrolling, not really paying big much detail into what's next, or you don't even really know what's next on TikTok. But when you go on YouTube, you see like all these videos pop up for like what you could watch next, where they give you like suggestions. So like I feel like instead of mindlessly scrolling and like actively looking on a page, I feel like that's another point that gets YouTubers connected to their influencer.
And I think also YouTube is kind of more of a grind than TikTok. I feel like on TikTok, and this even goes hand in hand with the algorithm, more people would say it's easier to go viral on TikTok. Because again, like you could kind of post anything random and it could get like 1 million views, 2 million views. It could be, something just really short because videos are limited now to 3 minutes, but it was 1 minute for so long. And it doesn't rely on stuff like captions or tags or thumbnails to try and incentivize people to click on your video if you were on YouTube. So I think that would probably, in terms of like the algorithm, that would probably be like the benefit for TikTok over YouTube. But again, it all falls back to the same argument where it's like if you do go viral on YouTube, more than likely people are going to subscribe. You can go viral on TikTok, probably 10 times, and you might still only have like 2,000 followers or 1,000 followers or something, which isn't bad, but it's like in the grand scheme of things with influencers on the app, it's kind of nothing. Do you guys think like there's an algorithm difference between both apps?
I just think YouTube is such a Goliath. I think YouTube has been around for so long that they've had time to mess up. Like obviously, I think everyone has heard of like the YouTube algorithm and how it works and how it messed up. And so I think they've had the time to tweak it and to like fix it to the best of their abilities. Not saying it's completely free of bugs, but with TikTok looks like a baby to YouTube in terms of algorithm because I know when I go to YouTube, I know like they're going to suggest things that I probably will like just because of just how that works. With TikTok, there are things I get and I'm like, why is this on here? Like it is something I totally would never watch. And I've been on it for a while now where it should know my algorithm by now. Now I think TikTok still has bugs that it needs to work out within its algorithm.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok is just way, way more randomized. And even like once you're on there for a while, you're still going to have those videos that are just you didn't expect to see or would pop up on your feed, but they still do just because it's random compared to YouTube where you kind of have to search it before like it starts getting into your algorithm. But yeah, I feel like TikTok is more randomized. And
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I think in a way, they're both taking stuff from one another. Like you said, Lauren, it seems like TikTok is kind of a kid to YouTube in a sense. It's kind of like following in the next generation. At the same time, though, it's like YouTube added this version of Shorts, which that's kind of came, recently, even after TikTok. It's almost like in a sense they took that from them. And YouTube does have more users, but TikTok is growing at a higher rate than YouTube as well. So I guess before we kind of close out here, we can all give our final thoughts on comparing TikTok and YouTube and maybe which one we think is better.
all right, so which one do I think is better? If you are like a new influencer, a new person, I feel like TikTok is definitely better. It's more. I feel like it's easier to grow on it, like off the gate and coming out of it. But like you said, there's some TikTokers that branch out and go to YouTube. So I feel like if you want like sustainability, you could go out to YouTube's a little better. But if you're like in the moment, in the trend, in the now, I feel like TikTok is better in that aspect.
Yeah, I agree with what Nathan said, but I would have to say that me personally, I think YouTube's better. It allows the content makers to be more connected with their subscribers and things like that. With TikTok, it's so short and it's just less content. So in that aspect, I believe YouTube is probably better.
I have to say YouTube hands down. We've seen things like TikTok. Obviously, Vine was like it. I know TikTok and Vine are different, but Vine came and went. TikTok, I think it is growing in popularity, but YouTube, like I said, is a Goliath. It was here from the start, and I can see it being here for much longer. It's a big business, and I see why people use it as much as they do, and I see why TikTokers who go to YouTube because they want to make more of that than just being on dance videos for 15 seconds for 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. I mean they both definitely have their downsides, but I guess in thinking optimistically, TikTok promotes more short term and randomized success, like you said, Nathan. Whereas YouTube kind of requires more long term dedication and other skills as well. Like you have to have good art skills for thumbnails, marketing, whether you advertise with paid promotions or like Google Ads or something like that, and you can make a TikTok more timely as well. Like in the time we just recorded this, I could have made like 5 TikToks. Like I probably couldn't have uploaded one YouTube video because it would have been loading. That's just the way it is. But I don't know. I think this was a good discussion, a good podcast. Do you guys have anything else to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think I'm about to go scroll on TikTok after this.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, that's not a bad plan at all. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this listen of our podcast. We hope everyone stays safe, and we'll see you on the next one if there is a next one. We're out. Peace.